I believe it is very easy to quit smoking and drinking if you decide so. I quit smoking, drinking, and non vegetarian food in a span of 3 to 4 months. I quit smoking the day after Ananta Chaturdashi of 2003, and on 27th November of the same year, I stopped drinking and non vegetarian food. Let me share with you my experience of how I got addicted to these habits and subsequently how I got rid of them. When I was very young, my father was a heavy smoker. I always remember him of either reading or writing some research paper with a cigarette in his fingers. To that extent, I was always inquisitive about smoking. Me and my elder brother experimented with smoking when we were probably 8, 9. And we were eventually caught red handed by our eldest brother. That was it. Then we never experimented to that extent. But in college, I actually started smoking regularly. There was always, some situation that, we will end up smoking for some or the other reason. There was only one other smoker in the group. So, to that extent, I can't blame it on the company of friends for my bad habits. So, I heard so many people blaming their friends or the company for their bad habits. But actually, let's not fool ourselves. It is our weakness that reflects in continuation of these bad habits. I first ate a non-vegetarian food probably after my 10th examination, and it fairly continued regularly. Not that I was always craving for it, but I always liked it. Not that I didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. I first drank beer after winning some college election in third semester, I believe, when I was barely 18. We used to drink and smoke occasionally during some parties or picnics, etc. So that was occasional one, not a regular one. The smoking was a bit regular. I started my own business at the age of 21 in 1988. And then probably I had started earning a little more money than, normal. I had much money in hand than I knew how to spend. And in such scenarios, you seldom get surrounded by some wrong people. There are some people who come in your life as some sort of punishment, and then things don't stop. You get into some kind of a vicious circle. My smoking increased almost 20 cigarettes a day. Even by the by age of 26, I had almost turned into a regular drinker also. I was almost drinking every alternate day. Whether there is a company or no company, I would drink alone. So actually, even after my marriage, my habits continued against the wishes of my better half. Somehow, I never listened to anyone in my life. I always did what I believed was right, even if it were to turn out wrong on the hindsight. I'll be fooling myself if I say that I enjoyed smoking or drinking, or whether I enjoyed all those bad habits. By the age of probably 33, smoking and coughing had almost become a part of my personality. Even I was habitual to tea over the years. I didn't realize when I, got habitual to tea. I used to consume, 7, 8 or more cups of tea during the day, and my by end of the day, my mouth used to feel so sore because of tea. In my late 30s, It was a scenario like I was a heavy smoker, addicted to drinks, tea addict, how bad it can be. Non-veg was not so much of a worry. In a kind of a limited review of that, even my doctor said non-veg is not something that will affect your health. In 2002, I believe around 2002 sometime, I was even hospitalized for hypertension related to my some business issues. And around then, I started having dreams of being dead before even my kids get married. That time, I seriously started thinking about quitting smoking and drinking. I had a history of quitting smoking and drinking for a couple of months in college, but then again I started sometime in '93 also. I had quit for a few months, both smoking and drinking, but I started again. But in late 30s, I wanted to give up these things for good. So somehow I was looking for some opportune time when that was to happen. The hangover is the worst part of drinking. I remember on uh, Anant Chaturdashi of 2003, I had many rounds of drinks with some neighbors on the terrace of our society, and I got a solid hangover the next morning. Eventually, my family was with my brother-in-law in Virar, and I was to visit them the next day. So I went to station, and I till then I didn't feel like smoking. Normally, I need a cigarette in morning. You know why? But I didn't feel like even during that. So I went to my brother-in-law. We had a lunch. Then after that, I had a nap in the afternoon. We went for an evening walk post dinner. Then also I didn't smoke. It was probably the first day in many years that I had not smoked till evening. Then I thought probably I had a shot at it, and I did it. I gave it up. I gave up smoking, and that time on, I never smoked in whole of my life. Initially there were withdrawal symptoms, but I handled them well. It's like I was habitual to going to a particular shop to buy a cigarette and then come back to office. So after quitting, that habit remained. So I used to go there, buy some chocolate, and come back and sit in office. So that continued for a while, and then eventually, I could get rid of that also. My elder son's birthday and our marriage anniversary are on adjacent days in November, and we always went to Shirdi and Vani temple to seek blessings of our family goddess. We always followed that tradition for so many years during those days when I was staying in Mumbai. Having quit smoking, I was fairly confident that I can quit drinks and non-veg also. So I planned and made it happen. Uh, I quit drinks and non-veg on 27th November 2003. I remember very well. I went to my regular bar in Borivali. I had a good, number of beers, and then I had a very, tasty non-vegetarian food, and I knew very well this was it, and I was never going to touch those things ever again in my life. So then I eventually quit. However, in 2013, during my visit to Japan, I started with non-veg, and I continued till recently. But in March of this year, I quit that also. As I said, I was also, drinking a lot of tea. 7 8 cups per day, or maybe more sometimes. So even after quitting smoking and drinking, I always had that, sore mouth after consuming so many teas during days. So I somehow wanted to get rid of that also. And eventually I got rid of tea also sometime 2008 9. For me, when I look back on the hindsight, I believe it was pretty easy. And why can't everyone else follow that and get rid of these bad habits eventually? No family is happy if any of the family members are having either of these bad habits. So it's better, to get rid of smoking and drinking, and spend some quality time with the family, or whatever hobbies you may have, you may pursue with those hobbies. That will be the best utilization of time. For me, my mantra for quitting bad habit is that the day you quit that, tell all the acquaintances that you have given up that bad habit. It helps because you are afraid of what if someone sees me doing it. That fear keeps you away from these bad habits. So that was my mantra. When I quit smoking, when I quit non-veg and drinks, and even tea, I told everyone whom I knew that I have given up those habits. So I was always, even if I felt tempted for some initial period, the fear of people making a fun of me, kept me away from reaching out to those bad habits again. So I believe that is a mantra for me, which I would like to share with you all. So you can try the same, and I'm sure you all will also be able to do it very easily. It's more than 16 years having quit smoking and drinks. I feel extremely good. I hope my experience helps you quit bad habits. Remember, it is very easy if you decide it so. And what's more, I mean, the life is beautiful. Enjoy it, and just stay away from these bad habits, and it will always be great for you to have a life being treated at its best. So hope this experience helps you guys in get rid of any bad habits. If not these, maybe some other pot, or maybe any other bad habits. I mean, it's fairly easy. You just need to be headstrong and just get rid of those habits, and I'm sure the wisdom will be bestowed upon the people who really want to get rid of them. Catch you later with some other experience. I'll be happy to keep getting your feedback. And God bless. Thank you.